Hi everyone, this is Randall with Carter Hill Honeybees, and we're approaching the middle of April. I think today is actually the 13th or 14th, not really sure. But just a quick video and a tidbit here. This is something I rely on personally, and I want to share it. So when I come into a bee yard, I'm fixing to go through these colonies and take a look at what's going on. But one of the first things I do to assess how the colony's doing is I'll stand here and look at the entrance for a moment. And that's what I'm showing you. Now this colony right here I know is in very good shape. You notice bits of pollen coming in, good bee flight, some drones flying in and out. It's about 3:30 in the afternoon, so drones are flying. That's a good indication. So this colony here is in good shape, and I pretty much know that confidently before I ever open the top. Now this colony is quite a bit smaller. It's only got one medium, and I have it marked here as having issues. I think it had a little brood trouble recently. I haven't looked in it today in probably a couple of weeks, and it may be starting to recover, but I'm going to look in there. But notice the flight is different, and I see them bringing in some pollen. The pollen, their little pollen bags is not quite as big. There's not near as much bee flight. They're coming a nice one, so hopefully this one's on the road to recovery. But just standing here and look at this, I know the population is not near as good in this one. And I see some drone flight and bee flight in here, but it's not flying as good as even the other one. And I have this one marked as queenless with that brick turn like that. So I'm going to get in here in a few minutes and see if it actually is queenless. But you can see significantly less flight than that. Now if I come up here at a time like this and there's almost no flight, I'm definitely going to dive in there and see what's going on. This time of the year, the stuff is starting to come in. There's decent nectar, decent amount of pollen out there. If your bees are not flying good, you most likely got an issue inside and that warrants further investigation. Now this colony is small, or the same size as the other ones in terms of the boxes, a deep and medium, but it seems to be flying a little bit better. I noticed right off the bat quite a bit more pollen coming in. I was seeing about 4 coming in at one lick. But this colony here is in building mode. In other words, just trying to build its population. About 98% sure it's not going to get strong enough to swarm, and after I get through supering it here in a few minutes, I'm pretty confident it won't swarm this year. But you can tell right there that the colony is on its way to recovery. And right here is the second strongest colony here. I got 2 mediums on top, and I'll probably look in it. I should be able to move that medium up top today. But you can see pretty decent bee flight there. Now right here is a good example of what I'm talking about. I have this one marked as queenless. The work activity you see at the entrance would probably indicate so. And you see almost no flight here as I talk, and just 2 or 3 bees. They're just kind of flying around, drifting. They're not coming in and out consistently or with a purpose. So I feel very confident that this colony, it needs to go. And what I'm going to wind up doing, I'll either shake the bees out of this or bring one of them nukes I have down there and combine with it. But like I say, this time of the year, if you have a colony that looks like this, you see it only a bee every 3 or 4 seconds coming in and out, you have problems. And finally, this colony here is doing pretty good. These are all colonies except for that very first one down there that got fed pretty heavily by me back in the winter, so they're lagging behind just a little bit. But you can see this one's flying in and out pretty good. There's a drone coming out. So this colony is in pretty decent shape. It too is in building mode. There's some beautiful pollen just coming in. But I just wanted to share kind of what I do when I first walk in the yard. I take a few seconds and evaluate it. I just don't run over there and pop the top most of the time, especially if I haven't been around in a couple weeks. This entrance activity to me is pretty valuable information, so I do rely on it pretty heavily. Well, thank you for joining me for this video. Never stop learning, and we'll catch you on the next one.